Confined to our homes these days with a partner, family, or housemate, we're used to existing around one another, but maybe we're not quite used to being around them 24/7, competing for space at the kitchen table, the newest hot real estate. We need to be aware of how we're communicating with those around us during this time, so here are 4 tips to better communication on lockdown. Firstly, be aware of and communicate your expectations. We all grew up in different places, so our baseline expectations for what's normal are different. We expect that everyone else knows what our desires are and agrees with us. If you're used to and want the dishes done and a clean kitchen by the time everyone goes to bed, you need to communicate that this is what I'd like. Don't just silently rage when people don't and aren't following your unspoken expectations. But also realize that just because it's a rule for you, it doesn't mean it is for them. So be willing to compromise and make agreements or concessions of your own. Secondly, ban the use of you statements in your house for this period of time. You didn't do the dishes last night. You never listen. You are really annoying me at the minute. When we use you fired across at them like an arrow, it is most often picked up as accusatory and puts the other person on the defensive, fumbling around for a reason why you're wrong and why they aren't actually to blame. Rather than lobbing the you across, take responsibility for what you're feeling. I'm not saying to take the blame for those dirty dishes, but changing the statement to I'm feeling frustrated that the dishes are still there when we agreed you'd do them, or I'm not feeling like you're hearing me, or I'm feeling irritated at the minute. When we flip the you to an I statement, it's more likely a constructive conversation rather than an argument will evolve. Thirdly, if you're arguing, make sure you're on the same page. Do you remember this dress from a few years ago? Now, when I look at this dress, what I clearly see is these colours, white and gold. Yet when some people see it, it's blue and black. It's got something to do with how our eyes work. But if we were having an argument, I would swear that this dress is white and gold, because to me it is. But you see it as black and blue. Neither of us is wrong, but what we need to do is realize that others might see things from a different perspective. So clarify and confirm. Can you explain to me what you mean? Rather than just jumping straight to conclusions. Fourth, stay aware of how you're feeling. And make sure your reactions and your disagreements really are what you're actually disagreeing about, not being transferred from some other frustration. Say you're working at home when your boss calls and is angry with you for something that they think you did wrong, but you disagree. You're frustrated, but they're your boss, so you can't really get mad at them. You get off the call and you spot that your housemate still hasn't taken their washing out of the machine, and they said that they would do it yesterday. You see red at this irritation and you march to their room to tell them to do it, which leads to an argument because they don't think it's a big deal and you weren't looking to use the machine anyway. What this is transference. The anger that you were feeling at your boss after that call can't go towards them, so you find somewhere else to put it and someone else takes the brunt of that anger. In close quarters and stressful times, our emotions might be closer to the surface. But make sure that the reactions that you have towards those around you genuinely should be directed at them, and that they aren't some offshoot of other emotions you're just looking for a landing place for. Living with others is wonderful, but it can be challenging at times if we don't take the time to be careful and consider how we communicate. Have patience for one another in this season and be quick to forgive when you can. It'll make for a much more pleasant living experience on lockdown.